Imagine holding a nickel in your hand that could be worth thousands of dollars. The 1990 D, 1999 D, and 2006 D Jefferson Nickels hide rare errors and tiny details collectors search for. One small feature can turn ordinary change into a treasure. Check your nickels closely. You might be sitting on a hidden fortune. Like and subscribe for more coin secrets. By 1990, the Jefferson nickel featuring Monticello on the reverse had already become one of the most familiar coins in American circulation. For decades, it had been quietly moving through grocery stores, gas stations, and parking meters, rarely inspiring a second glance. 5 cents was 5 cents. Yet among the millions of nickels struck that year at the Denver Mint, identified by the small d beneath the date, a tiny number emerged with striking flaws, errors so unusual that today they have transformed ordinary-looking coins into elite collector prizes valued between $64,330 and $148,000. The year 1990 marked a time of heavy production for the U.S. Mint. The American economy relied on an uninterrupted flow of small-denomination coins, and nickels were in constant demand. To meet that need, the Denver Mint operated at high speed, with presses striking thousands of coins per hour. While the process was highly automated, it was not immune to error. Worn dies, misaligned machinery, and planchets that slipped through inspection created conditions where rare mistakes could occur. Most flawed coins were caught and melted down. A few, however, escaped into circulation. The Jefferson nickel itself carried deep historical symbolism. Introduced in 1938, it replaced the Buffalo nickel and featured Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with his Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. By 1990, the design had remained unchanged for over 50 years. That familiarity worked against detection. When a coin looks exactly like every other coin you've seen your entire life, subtle differences are easy to miss. That is precisely how some of the rarest 1990 D-era nickels survived unnoticed for years. One of the most valuable error types associated with the 1990 D Jefferson nickel is the double die. This error originates during the creation of the working die, not during the striking of the coin itself. If the die receives a misaligned impression, parts of the design are duplicated. On certain 1990 D nickels, collectors have discovered doubling in Jefferson's eye, the word Liberty, the date, or even the steps of Monticello. Under magnification, these details appear thickened or slightly separated, creating a ghost-like shadow effect. Because dies are replaced quickly once an error is detected, only a very limited number of coins display this feature. Another highly prized error involves wrong planchet strikes. Nickels are normally struck on a copper-nickel alloy planchet, but in rare cases, a blank intended for another denomination, or even a foreign coin, found its way into the press. The resulting coin may appear lighter or darker in color, thinner or thicker than normal, or have an incorrect weight. These anomalies immediately raise red flags for experienced collectors. When authenticated, such off-metal 1990 D Jefferson nickels have reached astonishing prices, sometimes exceeding $120,000 in private sales. Off-center strikes are also known among 1990 D-era nickels. These occur when the planchet is not properly aligned during the strike, causing the design to appear shifted toward one edge. Some coins show a dramatic blank crescent where part of the design should be. The most valuable examples are those where the date and mint mark remain fully visible while the misalignment is extreme. These errors visually tell the story of a mechanical slip that happened in a fraction of a second but left a permanent mark. Collectors often recall the discovery of such coins as unforgettable moments. A nickel pulled from an old roll looks ordinary until it's weighed. The scale reads slightly off. The coin is tilted under a lamp, and the steps of Monticello look thicker than they should. A magnifying glass reveals doubling where none should exist. In that instant, excitement replaces routine. What was once spare change suddenly becomes a potential $64,330 to $148,000 artifact. Auction results have reinforced the legitimacy of these finds. Certified 1990 D Jefferson nickel error coins have appeared at major numismatic auctions, where bidding escalated rapidly as collectors recognized their rarity. Coins graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC consistently bring the strongest prices. because certification confirms both authenticity and condition. In some cases, private collectors have paid premium prices to secure a specimen that may not reappear on the market for decades. Condition is a crucial factor in determining value. A heavily circulated error coin may still be rare, but wear softens the visual impact of the mistake. In contrast, a high-grade example with crisp details, minimal contact marks, and original luster can multiply its worth. This is why professional grading plays such a vital role. It provides an objective assessment that collectors trust, preserving the coin's story and market value. What makes the 1990 D Jefferson nickel especially compelling is its modern origin. These are not ancient relics or coins from a distant past. Many people remember using them daily. That means undiscovered examples may still exist, sitting unnoticed in jars, drawers, inherited collections, or forgotten bank rolls. The idea that a 5-cent coin from recent decades could be worth six figures continues to fuel curiosity and passion among collectors. These error nickels also highlight the human element behind mass production. Even with advanced technology, the minting process depends on calibration, timing, and oversight. A single worn die or misfed planchet can create a coin that defies expectations. Each error nickel is a snapshot of that moment, a silent witness to the complexity of producing uniform currency on a massive scale. For collectors, the appeal goes beyond monetary value. Holding a rare error coin is like holding a secret that almost vanished. It represents chance, survival, and the thrill of discovery. Most flawed coins never made it past inspection. The few that did are reminders that perfection is never absolute, even in systems designed to achieve it. The 1990 D Monticello Jefferson nickel error coin proves that treasure doesn't always come in gold or silver. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, disguised as something ordinary. Examining coins closely, learning what to look for, and taking the time to question small differences can open the door to remarkable finds. Every nickel has a story, but a rare error coin carries one that nearly disappeared, with values ranging from $64,330 to $148,000. These coins stand as powerful reminders that history, rarity, and unexpected value can be found in the smallest details. The next time a Jefferson nickel passes through your hands, it may be worth slowing down, looking closer, and remembering that even 5 cents can hold a fortune when chance and history collide. The year 1999 was a moment of transition and anticipation in the United States. The country was preparing to step into a new millennium, technology was accelerating at a rapid pace, and even the U.S. Mint was undergoing subtle changes behind the scenes. Amid all of this, millions of coins were produced every day for ordinary circulation. One of those coins was the 1999 D Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent piece that most people barely noticed. Yet hidden among these nickels were rare minting errors so unusual that today they can command prices ranging from $57,550 to as high as $139,650. The Jefferson nickel had already been part of American life for more than 60 years by 1999. Its familiar design showed Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his historic Virginia home, on the reverse. The Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark, struck hundreds of millions of these nickels that year. They flowed into circulation immediately, used for parking meters, vending machines, grocery store change, and everyday transactions. No one treated them as special, and that was exactly how some of the rarest error examples managed to survive. Inside the Denver Mint, production was intense. Coin presses operated at incredible speeds, striking planchets thousands of times per hour. Each nickel blank passed through multiple stages: cutting, heating, cleaning, and finally striking between heavy steel dies. Under ideal conditions, the result was a clean, sharp coin. But perfection is difficult to maintain when machines run non-stop and human oversight is stretched thin. That environment allowed small but significant mistakes to slip through. One of the most sought-after errors on the 1999 D Jefferson nickel is the dramatic doubled die. This error occurs when the die itself receives a misaligned impression during its creation. When that die is used to strike coins, the doubling appears consistently on every coin it produces until it is removed. On some 1999 D nickels, collectors have discovered clear doubling in the lettering, particularly in Liberty, "In God We Trust," and even in Jefferson's facial features. Under magnification, the effect is unmistakable. These are not simple machine vibrations. They are true double dies, and they are exceptionally rare. Another highly valuable error is the off-center strike. This happens when the nickel planchet is not properly seated in the collar before being struck. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing, with blank metal visible along one edge. While minor off-center strikes are collectible, the most valuable examples are those with dramatic misalignment while still showing the full date and mint mark. Some of these 1999 D off-center nickels, especially in near-perfect condition, have sold for well over $80,000. Equally fascinating are wrong planchet errors. In rare cases, 1999 D Jefferson nickels were struck on planchets intended for other denominations or experimental blanks. These coins may appear thinner, lighter, or have a slightly different color. When weighed, they do not match official specifications. These mistakes typically occur during transitions between production runs, when leftover planchets are not completely cleared from the machinery. Because modern quality control is usually very strict, only a handful of these coins ever escape the mint, which is why collectors are willing to pay extraordinary prices, sometimes approaching $139, $650. There are also double strike errors, where a coin is struck more than once, sometimes with rotation between strikes. The result is a haunting, overlapping image of Monticello or Jefferson's portrait. These coins look almost surreal, as if the design is echoing across the surface. Each example is unique, and collectors value them for both rarity and visual impact. The discovery stories behind these nickels often feel almost unreal. A person sorting through loose change notices that one nickel looks slightly off. The lettering seems thicker. Monticello appears distorted. Curious, they place the coin under a magnifying glass. The doubling becomes clear. Or the coin is weighed and comes up short or heavy. That quiet moment of realization, when an ordinary 5-cent piece transforms into a potential 6-figure treasure, is what makes error coin collecting so addictive. Auction results and private sales have confirmed these values repeatedly. Certified examples of 1999 D Jefferson nickel error coins have generated intense competition among collectors. Modern error coins in high grade are especially desirable because so few escape detection. Unlike older coins, modern issues were produced with advanced machinery and tighter controls, meaning that any dramatic error is truly exceptional. Condition plays a critical role in determining value. A rare error on a heavily worn coin will never reach the same level as one preserved in mint state condition. Collectors look for sharp details, clean surfaces, and minimal contact marks. Professional grading is essential, as it verifies authenticity and assigns an objective condition rating. A single grade point can mean a difference of tens of thousands of dollars. What makes the 1999 D Jefferson nickel error story so compelling is how accessible these coins once were. They were not sold as collectibles. They were not saved intentionally. They circulated freely, often without a second glance. Some may still be hiding in old jars, desk drawers, coin rolls, or inherited collections, overlooked because they seem too modern to be valuable. These nickels are reminders that rarity is often accidental. They exist because of worn dies, hurried production, and moments when the system was imperfect. Each error coin is a snapshot of that process, frozen in metal. Examining coins does not require advanced expertise. A simple magnifying glass, a small scale, and patience can reveal remarkable details. Looking closely at dates, mint marks, alignment, weight, and surface texture can turn curiosity into discovery. In the end, the message is clear. Value does not always announce itself. A coin worth 5 cents in 1999 can today be worth $57,550, $100,000, or even $139,650 if it carries the right error and survives in the right condition. The next time you come across a Jefferson nickel dated 1999 with a small D mint mark, take a closer look, because history, rarity, and unexpected fortune can hide in the most ordinary places, waiting patiently for someone willing to notice.
The year 2006 was a quiet but important moment in modern American coinage. The U.S. Mint had recently completed the Westward Journey nickel series and returned to the familiar Monticello design that Americans had known for decades. Life moved quickly, digital payments were growing, and coins were becoming easier to ignore. Yet inside the Denver Mint, millions of Jefferson nickels were being struck at high speed, and in that relentless process, small but powerful mistakes were made. Those mistakes transformed a seemingly ordinary 2006 D Jefferson nickel into one of the most intriguing modern-era coins, capable today of reaching values between $52,390 and $132,980. At first glance, the 2006 D Jefferson nickel looks completely normal. Thomas Jefferson's portrait appears calm and dignified on the obverse, while Monticello, his historic Virginia home, stands firmly on the reverse. This design had been a staple of American coinage since 1938, symbolizing stability, tradition, and continuity. The Denver Mint produced massive quantities of these nickels to meet everyday demand. They were used for parking meters, vending machines, grocery purchases, and pocket change, passing through countless hands without a second thought. Behind the scenes, however, the Mint was under constant pressure to maintain speed and efficiency. High-speed presses struck thousands of coins per minute. Dies wore down faster than expected, planchets occasionally slipped out of alignment, and human oversight played a role in allowing rare errors to escape quality control. These imperfections were never meant to leave the Mint, yet a small number did, and those coins are now prized collector treasures. One of the most sought-after errors found on the 2006 D Jefferson nickel is the dramatic double die error. This occurs when a die receives a misaligned impression during its creation, causing design elements to appear doubled on the finished coin. On these nickels, doubling can sometimes be seen in Jefferson's eye, nose, lettering in Liberty, or even details of Monticello on the reverse. Under magnification, the effect is unmistakable. What looks ordinary at first suddenly reveals depth, shadow, and duplication. High-grade doubled die examples have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, with exceptional specimens climbing well above $100,000. Another rare and valuable mistake is the off-center strike error. In these cases, the planchet was not properly seated in the press when struck. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing, replaced by blank metal. On modern nickels, such errors are extremely uncommon because of improved machinery. When a 2006 D nickel shows a strong off-center strike while still retaining the full date and mint mark, its value skyrockets. Some examples with dramatic visual appeal have achieved prices nearing $90,000 to $120,000, depending on condition. Equally fascinating are wrong planchet errors. A small number of 2006 D Jefferson nickels were accidentally struck on planchets intended for other denominations or experimental batches. These coins often feel different in the hand, lighter or heavier than expected, and may show unusual coloration. When weighed, they clearly fall outside official specifications. These errors typically occur during transitions between production runs when leftover blanks are not fully cleared from the presses. Because quality control usually catches such mistakes quickly, very few survive. Confirmed examples have been privately sold for amounts approaching $132,980, making them among the most valuable modern nickels known. Another visually striking error is the double strike. This happens when a coin fails to eject from the press and is struck again, sometimes at a different angle. The overlapping images create a chaotic yet fascinating design, especially on a detailed structure like Monticello. Each double-struck coin is completely unique, and collectors value them not just for rarity but for their dramatic appearance. Well-preserved double-strike 2006 D nickels have fetched five-figure prices and continue to rise in demand. The stories of discovery are often quiet and personal. A collector sorting through rolls from a bank notices something odd about Jefferson's face. A hobbyist examining a childhood collection sees lettering that looks thicker than normal. Under a magnifying glass, the truth emerges. The coin tells a different story than expected. That moment, when a 5-cent piece suddenly becomes a historic artifact worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, is what fuels the passion of numismatics. Auction records and professional grading services confirm the legitimacy of these values. Certified 2006 D Jefferson nickel-era coins have generated intense competition among collectors. Modern-era coins are often underestimated, but experienced numismatists understand that strict quality control makes surviving errors exceptionally rare. Unlike older coins, modern pieces were scrutinized heavily, meaning only the most unusual mistakes ever reached circulation. Condition plays a decisive role in determining value. A dramatic error loses much of its appeal if the coin is heavily worn, scratched, or damaged after leaving the mint. Collectors seek sharp details, clean surfaces, and minimal contact marks. Coins graded in mint state condition by respected grading companies command the highest prices. Even a small difference in grade can mean tens of thousands of dollars. What makes the 2006 D Jefferson nickel-era story so compelling is how accessible these coins once were. They were not sold as collectibles or special editions. They circulated freely. They sat in pockets, cash registers, and coin jars. Many were spent without anyone ever noticing their potential. Some may still be hiding today in old drawers, inherited collections, or forgotten rolls of change. These nickels represent a fascinating intersection of modern history, industrial speed, and human imperfection. Each error is a reminder that even in an age of advanced technology, mistakes happen, and sometimes those mistakes create extraordinary value. A tiny misalignment or worn die can turn an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Examining coins does not require expert knowledge. A magnifying glass, a scale, and careful observation are often enough. Look closely at lettering, alignment, surface texture, and weight. Trust curiosity. Many incredible finds begin with nothing more than a closer look. The final lesson is simple yet powerful. Value does not always announce itself. Sometimes it hides in the most ordinary objects. A Jefferson nickel dated 2006 with a small D mint mark may look insignificant, but with the right era and condition, it can be worth anywhere from $52,390 to $132,980. The next time you come across a handful of nickels, slow down and look carefully. Because history, rarity, and unexpected fortune can be hiding in the smallest coins, waiting patiently for someone willing to notice.